Cardinals conversation is an interesting one, too. It's like, will Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. get on the same page or what? Kyler's going bananas. Kyler's running all over the place, playing good football. He's seeking to win first back-to-back or whatever in a long time. There's a lot of things happening in Kyler's world where, maybe this is the year Kyler does become that quarterback that we've all expected him to become. He has showcased it. He's taken on a little bit more of a leadership role, I think, if you listen to him talk and the way people talk around him. And he was asked about him and Marvin Harrison Jr. and he really not being able to link up thus far how we all imagined. Here was his answer.
I think when you are one of those guys, like his mentality and his expectations of himself are always going to remain the same. Like that's nothing that I can do. Anything that y'all write about, like that's not going to affect the way he feels like he should be playing the game or wants to play the game. But at the same time, no, I don't think we've even scratch the surface of what we can be, and I know it's frustrating for fans and it's frustrating for us too because I want him to have 10 catches a game, 100 yards a game. Like we all want that, but again, it takes time, it takes work, and that's what we're striving to be great. And I believe we'll get there.
There's a few clips that have hit the internet after games where Marvin Harrison Jr. is open, so everybody was trying to create the narrative Kyler's not trying to give him the ball. Kyler doesn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to be successful. I reached out to Darius J. Butler, friend of the program, obviously, a guy who hosts the program. He's also part of NFL Matchups. I said, what's going on with Marvin Harrison Jr.? He said, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be an incredible wide receiver for a long time, but he needs talent around him. His style of wide receiving, he's a possession guy. He's going to be on third down guy. He's going to be able to make the catches that are tough. He has a huge catch radius. Just like Larry Fitzgerald, I think Larry Fitzgerald potentially a little bit more explosive down the field, but if you need a possession, you need to have other weapons, so it opens it up a little bit. Is there a possibility that is the case? Do we think Marvin Harrison Jr. gets going, AJ? What are your thoughts on the relationship between he and Kyler? Because it didn't sound like that Kyler was choosing for Marvin Harrison Jr. to not be successful.
No, and a quarterback would never choose for that. And sometimes it's tough for a quarterback, too, if you have a stud receiver that, whether they bring him in as a free agent or they're a rookie, like people expect him to have 10 for 100 every game and a touchdown or two, and that's just not always going to be the case. So, yeah, when you can't force it, though. Like, you can't force the ball into windows that aren't there. If he is open at times, yeah, we all have been able to pause the film, sit in our air-conditioned room and say, oh, look, this guy's open here, and there's 7 dudes in his face. You can't see it. Like, there's a lot that goes on, but I think eventually it'll be fine. But every receiver needs like complementary players around him, and I guess as time goes, the Arizona will develop that. But also, I think this year they're gonna get on the same page, like on a consistent basis, eventually this year.
I think so too. Just from watching Marvin Harrison Jr. in person, he's a Sunday guy. He's an NFL guy.
Yeah.
He's an NFL guy. Obviously, they're running an NFL offense, so you assume it'll work out inevitably. But he's a vastly different wide receiver than like Malik Neighbors, like the guys that are just like scorchers. It's like we're working. So anytime you have 6 eyes, potentially, or 4 eyes on that side, it's easier to kind of take out of the game. Even if he is open, hopefully they're able to get him the ball. But Kyler Murray at one point said, that's not my job. Now, that was a part of a full answer where he was saying, I got to play, I got reads, I got other things to do. It's not my job just to specifically look for one person. So all those things are feeding a narrative that, like, Kyler doesn't want to give him a rock. Now, outside noise obviously can't affect the inside operation. Coach Ganon, what do you think his messaging to Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr., the offense, the defense is about this particular relationship? Because it is loud. Anytime Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't go crazy, it gets very loud. How do you think Coach Ganon handles that?
You just got to keep practicing, and you're going to have a breakout game. And we don't even know what the defense, like, he's going to draw the best corner every week, right? They're going to put a guy on him, put a guy over the top. So we don't even know from a defensive standpoint, to your point about having other weapons. So he's got to tell him, hey, just keep working. It's like when you're in the back end and you're not getting any interceptions, right? And you're in a slump. It's sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets. So you just got to let this thing happen organically. It's going to happen over time, and they're going to have a breakout game at some point, and then get the thing clicking.
I love the way Kyler's playing.
Yeah.
I can't. He's pulling away from people.
Yeah, flying.
I knew he was fast. I knew Kyler was fast.
Very fast.
But he's very fast. And obviously top 10 in baseball, right?
Yep.
#1 overall pick in the NFL. This guy has been supremely athletically talented since he was just a little baby boy. But going against other supremely athletically talented people, he's pulling away.
Yeah.
He's getting the edge. He's added an element to his game this year that seemingly has him in a much better position than he'd been in the past. Kyler Murray being great at football is good for football.
Yeah, incredible. And then you think about what Orlovsky told us, how like Kyler told him in their little pregame, meeting before they called the game Monday night, like, hey, I need the ball more. Like, I want the ball more. It's like we could see Kyler just go bananas the rest of the way here, and Marvin might find his way too.
I'm not going to say Kyler had this mentality, but some people said he was like too cool. Kyler's too cool. He was the best athlete. Obviously, picks things up easily, can make massive plays anytime he wants to, can make massive throws. But is he a guy who's going to be like quarterback in the NFL? Like, are you going to be face a franchise? Feel like he's got to a point where he realizes, hey, we got to win. I got to do shit. We need to tighten up. We need to go ahead and do this. Or this is how my career is going to be talked about.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to be. Kyler doesn't want that. Kyler's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Yeah.
He doesn't want that to be the convo. Maybe there's a different locked-in mentality, too, out of Kyler.
Speaking of, the internet does not forget. Call of Duty comes out today or tonight or tomorrow, one of the two.
Today.
Yep. And Kyler jokes were flying today.
Oh, yeah.
I think that kind of stuff adds the chip on. It's like, he knows how explosive and how good he is, too. It's like, all right, you motherfuckers can keep saying all this stuff because everyone made such a big deal when the contract stuff happened. But, like, when he's in the zone and when he's playing, like, it's also, in terms of Marvin Harrison not getting the ball, like, he can't really just sit back there in the pocket and just wait for Harrison to get open because he's the best athlete on the field. So it's like, hey, guess what? If he's not, yeah, exactly. And, the farther down he gets, it's like, if I can't see him and if he's not open, like...
That's just a part of it. That's reality of the situation.
Exactly.
Kyler is not as tall as everybody else.
Right.
So, like, there's going to be some places where not perfect for him, but he's going to be able to do shit that tall people...
I'm going to take off and get 55 yards and we'll be in the red zone.
Do you remember his rookie year? He hit that stutter step on a guy.
Yeah.
It's like we completely forgot about what his legs are. Top three in league in this entire thing. He's showcasing that a little bit. But there are some deficiencies that come there, and that's when he's standing in a pocket. A 6'3", 315-pound offensive lineman is potentially going to block his view. So the throwing lanes are going to have to be kind of designed and figured out, and he's going to have to do that. So Marvin Harrison probably going to have to figure that out as well. Like, hey, I got to get an eyesight, even though if the route is this. So they'll sort it. They'll sort it over there, right?
Yeah.
Will it be this weekend against the Dolphins?
Maybe.
Will it be this weekend against the Miami Dolphins?
Not against
Good
that
luck catching
defense.
him.
That defense
Who's going to
is
spy
cooking.
him? Who's going to spy him?
Jordan Brooks, maybe.
Great player.
I mean, don't do it. That surprised me what the Chargers did on that play. Khalil Mack dives underneath, and then they're going to wrap, and the D tackle doesn't wrap around, and they give him that edge. Like, he's a nightmare for a
He's
defensive
so quick.
coordinator. He's a nightmare. See him dive underneath and give up contain. You can't do that against this kid. And I'm sure the D tackle was supposed to wrap around. Because now if they're playing man coverage, they're playing match coverage, all the backs are turned. You got one guy left to try to take an angle. Good luck.
See ya.
I'm not playing man against Kyler. I don't want to be playing man against
hell
Kyler.
no. You need zone eyes.
Jogging
Great
from
point.
the 20 in.
No, you got to have faith in your corners. Got to have faith in your corners. Go man against Kyler. That's what Kyler wants.
No, everybody underneath got their back turned, and Kyler all of a sudden runs up your back in the end zone as you're chasing the tight end.
That's like you would never play two-man, right? Two-man at like athletic quarterback, Peyton against Peyton,
Done.
statues, Brady. Yeah, they're two-man all day. But these type of dudes?
No way.
No, sir.
Can't do it. He will, in our blind
Won't do
side,
it.
actually catch us.
Yeah.
And then he'll run by you.
Yep. See ya.
And you're going, what are we doing? I love the videos of wide receivers acting like they're
Yeah.
when the person's running right behind them.
It's like the
Jackson
fake.
Smith
It's
and
like the
Jigba.
fake punt. You don't force the kick with two guys.
Yeah.
And everybody just turn, and you're going middle return.
Great feel.
And the guy's jogging behind your whole return unit just as fast as you.
It's awesome.
What are you guys doing? The punter's got the ball.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's perfect setup. And if you do that to Kyler, Kyler can go.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba did that against the Giants, and Geno Smith ran for like 40 yards because he started running, and the safety probably would have went up, and it would have been a 10-yard gain or whatever, but Jackson Smith and Jigba running down the seam, like screaming for the ball like this, and Geno had like a 30, 40-yard run on it.
I mean, it sucks for the corner because he's doing the right thing. What are your reads? His eyes. When his eyes get big, ball's coming.
Hands go up.
Hands go up. Late hands. His wide receiver's got late hands. When his hands go up, the ball's coming. So eyes get big, hands go up. All of a sudden, corner's like, oh shit, I'm out of position. And then at what point do you... Why are his eyes so big still? I
was going to say.
Why is he 7'10"?
ball?
Why is this ball ever coming down?
Geno Smith throw it 95 yards? Maybe he can.
Because man under, you're a yard behind, a yard inside. Look at the hip. Oh, he's still going. So that's what I'm doing.
No shot.